Who will speak of the things of old, and of the things that have been, of Sava, of that Sava, of Sava of Zarozhe village, of Sava the miller, of Sava Savanović the vampire, for there are two tales of Sava and the lovers, Strahinja and Radoika. This is the first. In a rural part of Serbia, along the serpentine route of the Rogačica River, there lies a village called Zarozhe. A short walk from this village sits a watermill, which would grind the grain for Zarozhe and the neighboring rival village of Ovčina. The vale was rumored to be haunted, and so was shunned. Not even the wolves approached it, for Sava Savanović had run the mill. Sava came from a family of wealth and standing in the village. His younger brother Stanko was happily married and had many children, and he was a successful livestock dealer. But Sava remained unmarried, well past the time when men would be getting married. No woman would have him in Zarozhe. His only chance seemed to be a young girl from the village named Mira, who was not really of marriageable age and was the daughter of Matija Dusman, the village headman, who did not approve of this. Sava began to court Mira, carving butterflies out of scraps of wood with his pocket knife. One summer's day, Sava went into the sunlight of the vale, hoping to meet Mira. He carried a piece of black hawthorn he'd been carving, hoping to whittle it into a black butterfly as a gift for Mira. But when Sava got to the vale, his brother Stanko confronted him. "I must speak with you, brother," he said. "The villagers ask that you stop your visits with the shepherd girl Mira. They don't approve. Her father does not approve. Leave her alone. She is too young." Sava ignored him and pushed past. When Stanko tried to stop him, Sava drove his knife into his brother's chest. Covered in Stanko's blood, Sava continued on to find Mira. Mira saw the blood of Stanko and screamed, running to where her father and other shepherds were gathered. The men were upon him and attacked him with whatever tools they had. With walking sticks and hoes, with pitchforks and shovels, they beat Sava, who stabbed savagely at Mira's father with a sharpened point of the hawthorn, killing him. Sava died as well, but as he breathed his last, a hawk moth with the death's head pattern on its wings flew from his mouth. Both Stanko Savanović and the Kmet Matija Dusman, the father of Mira, were buried in the village cemetery, as was proper. But Sava's body was unfit for interment and was thrown into a shallow grave in a makeshift coffin, where the stream in the vale bent sharpest, beside a spreading elm not far from the watermill he ran. The mill was abandoned by the people of both villages. The water wheel stopped turning in time, and rumor spread that the place was haunted. Many years passed. A young man named Strahinja fell in love with a girl called Radoika, whose name meant joy. He was a poor man in the village of Zarozhe, while she was the daughter of a local merchant, Ivan Duzman, by chance a descendant of the Kmet Sava Savanović had killed. Ivan did not approve of their love due to the differences in their social statuses. However, Strahinja was determined to win over the merchant's sympathies and marry Radoika, his joy. As he left Zarozhe and traveled to the neighboring village of Ovčina, he passed by the mill and felt an unnatural chill in the air by the abandoned place. It was a cheerless dinner that Strahinja had in the village of Ovčina. The village lacked bread. It was there that he conceived a plan to rebuild the abandoned mill, which was long considered haunted. After all, it would bring bread to Ovčina, and he would be popular there. And those in his home village wouldn't have to pay such high prices for flour from a faraway mill. And this surely would win the approval of Ivan Duzman. Therefore, he decided to take over the abandoned, haunted watermill with the intention to start running it again, so that eventually he would acquire some wealth on his own. Even though Radoika begged him not to, Strahinja revived the mill. After all, his name, Strahinja, means great fear, and his parents had baptized him with this name in order to protect him from evil spirits and forces. Back in Zaroje, word had traveled of what Strahinja had planned, and even Radoika's stern father, Ivan Duzman, approved, promising his daughter's hand in marriage to Strahinja should he accomplish this feat. Villagers began visiting the mill more and more frequently in order to buy grain, hence Strahinja's business bloomed. But every evening there were strange rattling noises. Afraid of the legends of the place, Strahinja chose to sleep in a small windowless room which he locked, and he kept his axe and a silver dagger next to his bed. Although he was terrified, the thoughts of marrying Radoika kept Strahinja going strong. One evening, the rattling was even louder and more disturbing than ever before. The inside of the mill rattled, as did the door of Strahinja's room, until the lock broke. A strange man appeared. Shocked, Strahinja yelled in fear and asked the man who he was. It was Sava Savanović. Without hesitation, Strahinja stabbed and slashed with his silver knife, severing a finger from Sava's hand. Sava screamed and flew away from the house, while Strahinja shouted for help. Accompanied by the villagers and the village priest who carried the processional cross, Strahinja searched for the place Sava was rumored to be buried, where the stream in the vale bent sharpest, beside a spreading elm, not far from the watermill he ran in life, to the grave of Sava Savanović. Strahinja started digging. He reached the makeshift coffin and opened it. Inside was the tall man who had visited him in the mill that night, draped in his black burial cloth, while the skin on his brow and his hands was so white he looked like he had been buried mere days ago, not 90 years ago. One of his fingers was severed. Everyone was paralyzed with fear, everyone except Sava, who tried to rise from the coffin. But the priest, in desperation, perhaps with instinct, swung the processional cross. It burst into flame and seemed to brand the vampire's face. Someone else tried to get holy water into his mouth, but splashed his face instead. Steam rose from Sava's face, and a black butterfly flew out of Sava's mouth. Strahinja hammered a metal spike through Sava's chest, and the villagers placed the lid back on the coffin and layered heavy flat stones atop it before reburying what remained of Sava Savanović. While the villagers of both villages rejoiced at the wedding of Strahinja and Radoika, they felt that the watermill ought to be abandoned, and that the people of Zaroje and Ovchina share in the cost of a new mill, provided that Strahinja would run it and deliver flour to both villages, each on alternate days. It was at the feast I heard this tale. There it was, I drank mead ale. Though it flowed down my beard, my mouth stayed dry, for never a drop passed my lips, swear I.